Hi guys, and welcome back to Honey We're Home. I am Caroline Crawford Patterson.
And I'm Nicole Pellegrino.
And yeah, go ahead.
You said I am so formally.
I am.
It was very like
my name is like kind of formal though.
Your name is giving rich.
Oh, I hope so. One day. It's all part of the plan.
I remember when I first like saw you on the internet and I was like, Caroline Crawford is like, it sounds like a Southern belle.
And I
going to debutante.
I literally don't feel like that at all. I think that's so funny because I think like Caroline is a Southern or like a classic name.
Yeah.
Crawford sounds like that. I just think I don't feel like that at all.
Crawford is good.
I feel like sketchy and like ratty and like.
Oh God.
You know the way you feel versus the way people see you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Like I'm like a little Rumpelstiltskin in my head.
Speaking of that,
I have 42 cents in my bank account and shower once a year.
Caroline Crawford. Speaking of how you see yourself, I highly suggest if you guys need a good laugh, because I know I'm not alone in this. Yesterday, I had to go through a bunch of old college photos because I'm doing this like video. It's a long story. Like looking back at my fall outfits from those years. And how bad they were. Like in one, I'm wearing a belt, like a thick belt over my shirt, right under my boobs. Like, you know how we all.
You know that's coming back in.
Of course it is. You know.
Great. The big belt.
Not the way I did it. No, not that way. But like little things like that. Like I was wearing a bodycon skirt, like a bandage skirt in mid-October when it was freezing out. You know. Just because I didn't care for dressing appropriately.
Well, those were also the only skirts. I believe those were the only skirts they made in that time.
It really was. They didn't give us many options.
No, there weren't.
But like, not trying to like get into body image stuff because I'm not. I know people have real body image issues, and I'm not trying to make light of that. But let's just say, like, I was quadruple the size I am now in college, and like my happiest, confident.
That's better than me, which is like no matter what size I am, I think that I'm like 30 pounds heavier. And like I don't have like a good gauge, and I think it's because my weight fluctuates so much. I know a lot of other people go through this too, and it's definitely hormonal. I just don't know like the like solution to it. Every like 3 or 4 years, I'll get like my thinnest version just out of nowhere. Like I could genuinely change absolutely nothing, and then after 2 years, I'll gain like 30 plus pounds, and then I'll keep that on for like 2 to 3 years until my body cycle switches. Like I go in and out of that. I literally have had that problem since I was like 13 years old. So I never know. Yeah, I never know what size I am. I'll keep my jeans that are smaller because I'll be like, in a few years, my body will decide to lose weight. But then when I keep the jeans that are smaller while they don't fit, I feel like huge. And then when I get smaller, I'm like, oh, my jeans are like too big. Should I give them away? But it's like, no, you need to keep them because you know that at some point you're going to need those jeans again.
See, I don't fluctuate that much, but I hear you. Like, I feel like women's bodies just like do.
Yeah.
While men just get to chill.
And my boob size, like, I don't know if anybody else has like bras that are like, they range smaller. 4 different cup sizes because like your boobs do the same thing. It's really like I have like 20 bras and John's like, you don't need them all. And I'm like, no, but like I do because bras are expensive. And like 2 years I'm gonna need this cup size and then that. Like
my boobs get huge leading up to my period. Like I basically get every pregnancy symptom right before my period, and then it's just like period.
That's actually scary.
Yeah, I know.
I'm the type of person that when I feel that way, I like have to take a pregnancy test.
No, the size thing. I mean, I just feel like I was drinking like a fish and eating like the dining halls at JMU. I went wild.
You were never big.
No, I'm not like.
But everybody, I think most of my friends have the same experience as you, where like they probably like
you go crazy.
Well, I think you almost like complete puberty after you leave college. Like you become the adult version of yourself. Like your body shifts a little bit, your face shifts a little bit. Like you're not drinking as much. You're cooking your own meals.
You're working out. You're more consistent with things. Like that's,
Then there are people like me where like I was tiny my senior year or like my junior year, and then my senior year I wasn't. Like for me, like it's not that. Like my body has a life of its own.
Yeah. I just remember going home at some point, like late freshman year or early sophomore. That's when or no, late freshman year. And my mom, this is where like my mom's dead, so I could say this. We're not going to cancel the dead woman, but she was tough on me with things. She was like, oh God, Nicole,
Wait.
she was like, you need to turn this around. Like,
Yeah, my mom, who is still with us and is actually like downstairs right now.
I know.
She like said something too when I went to college and whatever.
If your mom like doesn't call you fat when you're in college, is she really even your mom?
Like that generation is just so problematic.
I know.
To this day, me and my sisters like continue to bring stuff up that she said, and we're like, you literally cannot be serious. And she'll like try to gaslight us out of it. Like, I would never say something like that. It's like, no, you did.
Yeah.
Oh no, you did.
No, you did.
And then
But
when
it's
you have
like funny. It's like moms are allowed to say and do whatever they want. Like
that
I
might be
still,
funny
like,
for you, but for a girl that couldn't control her weight,
oh, crazy.
no, I'm like, wait, because then your sisters are mean too. Little sisters, I'm sure you've said
Oh
some
my
shit to
God.
Jenna.
Yes.
Because my little
Both of
sisters
us.
would copy my mom. Like when they came to see me in college
Jenna like
for the
called me
first
fat
time.
like last week.
Yeah, like,
Like,
when they saw me in college for the first time, one of my little sisters was like, Sarah goes, wow, are you sure those shorts fit you?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
As they were on me.
the sisters will say those comments and like they'll call you fat without calling you fat. Like they'll be like, those are getting really tight on you, or like things like that.
I will say one thing that I'm like, we won't ever do this to our kids, so I think it's just different. I have an Oma, and she just says the craziest stuff. One day we were at the lake for the weekend, and I had a bathing suit on, and as we all know, I have endometriosis. At the time, I didn't know I had it, and I was like getting cysts for the first time. So like it looked like I had like a kind of like a water balloon in my belly. Like I was like cramping like crazy. She taps my belly and is like, if you could just lose those 5 pounds, you'd be a really cute girl.
I love grandmas.
2 hours later, like keep in mind, I literally was like, wow, all I know is my stomach hurts.
Yeah.
Like it looks
It's
big.
like the
I was
last
already
thing you need to
I was
hear.
already a curvy. As soon as I hit puberty, I was curvy.
Grandmas will rip you to shreds.
No, karma though. 2 hours later, the cyst popped.
No.
I peed for like 45 seconds to like it was like a 5-minute pee. It was something crazy. Like I couldn't get off the toilet. Like it was just still coming out, and my stomach
every morning.
deflated. And I'm like, did I lose the 5 pounds like that you were referring to?
Yeah, like, Grandma, are we good
She
now?
like tapped my cyst and was like, if you could just lose that.
Have I told you guys the donut story on the way home from Boston? When Mike and I, long story short, when Mike and I found a gluten-free donut place on the way home from Boston. So I called my grandma, and she was like, I was like, Grandma, hi, like, we're on the way from Boston. Like, we actually just found this delicious gluten-free donut place. I'm so excited. And right away, she's just like, well, why don't you eat half of your donut and like, and let Mike finish the rest. And that was just the surface. Like, her classic thing was, a moment on the lips is a pound on the hips.
Yeah.
We've talked about this. So if our mothers
yeah.
are ever a little crazy,
It's because
of them.
Yeah, I caught my mom, like we had dessert. She was like trying to eat her pie hidden in the kitchen 2 nights ago because she's here visiting. And I was like, like you can actually like eat that out in the open. Like you don't have to like hide.
Hide the pie.
Yeah, it's like generations of female trauma like passed down.
Right. Or there.
And why did no one ever say like, actually everyone shut the F up?
When moms are like eating any dessert, they're like, oh, I'm so bad. This is so bad. It's like, just eat the cupcake.
It really is. Okay, so we know that the show has been heavy lately. We're really getting into kind of feeling out the listener dilemmas and getting all the input. And this has been great. I feel like I've learned a lot, etc. But in the midst of some heavier stuff, we have a really good, like lighthearted, happy story from a listener that we're going to read because it made me smile. So I hope it makes everybody else smile.
Yeah, like we bash the crazy men on here, but this one is really good. So just Golden Husband.
Golden Husband. That was the name of the email. And like, it really is. Hi, honeys. Obsessed with the pod. I share with my married, engaged, dating, and single friends. I'm writing in after listening to the last couple of episodes where the men of these lovely ladies have been behaving less than ideal. In a world full of gaslighters and icks, I wanted to shed some light and praise on my husband who listens to every single episode of this podcast with me. He calls it war if I listen without him. I think that's cute. I'm a flight attendant for Delta, which means that our life is anything but routine, and I am away from the house for days at a time. Although we don't have any human kids, we have 2 fur babies that we love with our whole hearts. I can't explain all of the ways that this man feels like coming home. He goes above and beyond to make our life seamless and takes stress off of my shoulders without ever keeping score. Before every work trip, he goes to the grocery store and meal preps all of my food for me. While I'm gone, he deep cleans the house. I'm talking scrubbing the inside of the oven, bleaching the shower, and more. I know, incredible. He has all of the dishes done and laundry folded, put away before I get home. And from the moment he picks me up from the airport, he prioritizes our quality time from at-home date nights to dinners out and planned leisure trips around the world. Yes, I still love to travel when I'm not working. I'm psycho. When I ask what I can do for him, he says nothing, and he truly means it. But I want to do something special. Honeys, please help me come up with ideas on how to treat the winner of the Golden Husband Award, XOXO, an ever grateful wife.
This is so adorable and so wholesome and so cute. And how, like, honestly, every relationship should function. I'm sure they have their issues, but this is just like, he really is Golden Husband. I was thinking about this email on the way over, and I was like, this is a classic example of everything reverting back to the love languages. Yeah. And how you like to receive and how you like to show. And this man is giving acts of service, and it sounds like this woman is loving that back. And like, this is all she just described. Like, basically Mike does this too. Like,
John does that too.
The acts of service.
And
I think a lot of men
we feel guilty. Have you experienced that where, like, going into a relationship and marriage, I was very upfront, like, hey, if this is what you want, like the stereotypical traditional kind of like wife duty service, because being frank with you guys, and maybe of this experience too, I don't know if it's just a Southern thing, like, he has friends that want that out of a wife.
It's similar to traditional Italian,
and
like, the wife should just be like cooking, cleaning, serving.
And I almost feel bad even calling it like traditional, but that is what it is. That shouldn't be what we define as traditional, but like whatever it is. So the traditional like Italian thing, it's very common obviously in the South. Like, I have seen that, right? So it's like, I was very upfront that wasn't kind of like the partner that I was going to be. Like, I wasn't going to be an absent partner, but that's, to me, isn't the definition of being a good partner. So I don't know why going into marriage, then when it, like, nothing changed, like, the agreement was there, the conversations were had, he has never had like outlandish expectations of me. Why did I, like, and still do sometimes, like, feel guilty that I'm not doing those things? Like, I see him do everything and I'm like, oh, like, I really am like, wow, I'm a bad wife.
We've talked about this in some extent because this is ringing a bell. I mean, I get the guilt too. Like, I get guilty because I kind of bait and switched Mike. Like,
okay.
Early on, I was cooking more. I was just less busy with like work and career endeavors earlier on, I guess. And not really.
I did cook more too, and I think that's normal.
I don't know. I mean, I feel the guilt too. And this is kind of what this listener is feeling. She's like, how do I show him? And we can come up with ideas and give you tips.
Yeah. And we'll tell you, you guys are so cute. So we'll tell you when to stop listening. You'll have to tell him to stop listening when we get to that part.
Part of me also wants to tell you, like, because like we're saying, we get the same, like, how do we show them we appreciate? Like, you just being you is showing them too. Like, you just showing up and, like he's saying, like, you just being there, you just being nice, fun, your amazing self. Like, he married you for a reason. So don't feel like you always have to be being so appreciative. And because I have seen relationships where the wife is very much like, I just need to show him I'm so appreciative that he's like my husband, and bending over backwards. And I'm like, you just need to be
You see him do one thing and you're like, oh, I owe him this, I owe him that.
Yeah.
And I feel like we experience that guilt. It's on a much lower level. Like, we see them do all of and I think I'm understanding the psychology behind this a little bit. Like, obviously the tangible chores versus, we've talked about this, like the invisible chores. If he's doing like the visible, tangible chores, like I do understand where we're coming in. Like, okay, I'm starting to feel guilty. He's doing everything. That's a mindset that we're actively trying to work against, because we're like, why do we feel guilty? We shouldn't feel guilty.
Yeah.
But there are people where it's like the husband does one thing, especially in an older generation. The husband does one thing,
And we throw
and they're
a
like
celebration.
a party. And I don't know if that's the seed that's planted in us that makes us feel like we're feeling the guilt too. They have to do a lot more to trigger that guilt, but we do feel it.
I think it ladders into the past, and it's because traditionally, back in the olden days, husbands weren't doing anything. So now it's still a little ingrained in our minds where if they do
Yeah.
1 or 10 things, like because that's not how their ancestors did it, we need to celebrate them because they're like breaking the status quo
Right.
of that, when really like we should just celebrate each other for existing and sharing that.
And I'd love to my mom's take on this, because she really was pretty vocal, not in a women not supporting other women way, but like if she saw a woman like doting on her husband for doing one thing and just like singing his praises, she was like, that's gross. Like, don't do that. Like, don't ever be someone that has, and she would, and this might be an aggressive take, but like such little self-worth that you feel like you owe someone everything for doing one thing that helps the household, because you're in a unit or a relationship. But I do feel like this husband is like the definition of someone who has done the work, and he understands invisible chores and like visible chores. So like the housework versus like, you know, that we talk about like the mental stuff like that goes
meal
behind.
prepping,
Knowing what's going to be like purchased at the grocery store, like thinking about dates and times and organizing this and all of those things.
The social calendar is a chore.
Well, they're so
Like me answering all of me and Mike's group texts lately, I swear the man, like, I'm like, do you want our friends to think
right.
they hate you? He's just like bad at group texts, and that's
I
just
am
how
too.
he is. I'm like weirdly okay at it, even though I'm bad at like one-on-one text. I don't know. But I'm like, I'm holding down the correspondence in
but
these
for
group
something
texts.
to like flow, anything, I hate the trope that marriage shouldn't be work, because for
Totally.
anything to flow well, like it does take a certain amount of like work and preparation. Like you need to be handling your business. So yeah, like there's a lot that goes into it. This guy obviously, like her husband understands how much his wife does, regardless of cleaning the house, like, and cooking. Like those aren't the only two things that like run a house. And I feel like the way that he views their setup is, I don't want my wife to be away, literally working away from her bed, away from her house, doing all of this for our family for multiple days out of the week, and then she comes home and the first thing that she has to do is clean the house, cook the meals, like, because when she's doing those things, he also doesn't get time with her.
Yeah.
So he like
he's prepping the house. And I think
so
like
that their marriage can come first, and that they can hang
Right.
out, and that she can see her
prioritize the
friends.
time. Yeah, like prioritize her happiness.
Right, and then
this
one
is
day with
ultimately
kids.
like this, like whenever you see in the movies and stuff, people being so passionate and showing love, and their relationship is like, this to me is passion and love. Him doing all these things, and like you said, so that the house is ready, she can come home to a clean house. But this is also like, he's identified that her love language is literally a clean house, acts of service when she gets home. And yeah, so he's showing her that, and clearly she appreciates it. Like some women, I don't know, some women might not appreciate it, but
it doesn't matter, because he's just married to her. So it's all the stuff that we talk about, and I'm sure that there are people out there that could say negative things about us or yap about our expectations. Like, this is what it looks like though when a man like listens and takes initiative, because she's so in love with him. Like, her language in this email is so happy and in love, and he obviously is so in love with her. And I bet she literally said that one sentence, like, I cannot describe to you how much this man feels like home.
Yeah, chills. So, but it's funny because I've been struggling with love languages lately, because Mike does all these. I mean, Mike's not getting inside the oven and bleaching the or whatever. What did she say about the oven?
Bleaching the shower.
Oh, bleaching the shower in the oven.
No,
he's not doing that. So Mike, take notes. But he's definitely an acts of service guy. The cooking, cleaning. He knows that helps me de-stress, especially on crazy weeks like these last couple weeks when I'm in and out of the city 7 times in one day. But I told him recently, I was like, okay, you're doing all those things great, but I also need you, and call me toxic if you want. I was like, I also need you to show me more love in terms of words and physical touch, because I'm not feeling that enough lately. Physical touch, we're okay at for the most part. Words, like, well, this morning actually, he was like, I love your outfit, you look beautiful, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes I'm lacking on words.
That's cute.
And
that's okay to say. I mean, I would imagine that if she felt this way, she would also communicate that. Like,
yeah,
Mike is just trying to show you he loves you. And he's also, like, that's partnership. Like, he's trying to help. Like,
yeah,
he sees you run around all day. You're very busy. Like, even what Shrink Chicks told us, like for a lot of women, a clean space, like, really primes their mood is a clean mind. So like, he's taking that approach, but I feel like it's okay to say, like, hey, I actually would cook, like, this night a week or this night a week, like, not in exchange for, because I don't want to make it sound toxic, but like, he's just trying to show love, you know what I mean? So it's like, I think it's okay to say, like, I appreciate everything you're doing.
No, I think I do need to do that.
It's not that it's not enough. Yeah.
Because the guilt thing, back to that, like, I know for a fact when I make that man a meal, he is so thankful. Yeah. So I just need to, like, ramp it up and do it more.
You know what I really try to hold myself a little bit accountable to is, like, and I feel like she definitely, this couple is such a wonderful example, but, like, and when I catch myself having the guilt that he's, like, doing everything, I have to remind myself how much I'm still doing, and B, I'm like, how am I expressing my guilt? Like, am I trying to be obnoxiously, like, all over him and, like, trying to do stuff and, like, overcompensate? Or could I possibly just, like, express my appreciation more? Like,
yeah,
like, I could just do smaller things that are, like, like, texting him, like, the trash smelled and he noticed it, so we took it out on the way out in the morning, like, instead of waiting until it was full. Like, I noticed that you noticed that, like, thank you.
I love that. It's underrated just saying a quick thank you. We don't do it enough.
Like, I don't have to do a big group overcompensating thank you for everything. Just
no.
Like, I'm noticing this in my own life too. Half of the time, all I want is acknowledgement for things.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like that's almost fair to say other people would appreciate that.
Everybody loves acknowledgement.
Even in any conflict, in any issue.
This is, like, more of the little day-to-day things. Like, acknowledge more. Do a quick, like, hey, I appreciated you taking out the trash. Hey, I appreciated you fixing up the couch because it looked like shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, a quick little appreciation. But also, what was I gonna say? Oh, a compliment goes a long way.
Yeah,
I guess
and
for
that's
the words,
what you
girlies,
want a little more. Yeah,
yeah. Like this morning, I swear to God, this might be like the magical top, because I walked in and you were
so
fantastic. With it.
Yeah,
thank you so much. My hair is 5 days old, greasy.
Mine is too. It's disgusting.
This top is old from Aritzia. It's a sleeveless turtleneck brown shirt. Threw it on. Both you and Mike were gaga over it.
Yeah.
I mean. And I was like, I love this. Like, Mike was like, you look really cute. Like, well, he didn't say that. He was like, you look really beautiful today. I can't picture Mike being like, you look so cute.
That's a John thing.
Well, no, I forget what he said. I don't know.
Yeah.
He was complimentary of my top. But, yeah. So anyways, yeah, a quick little compliment. Like, I think that's also a tip for this listener. Like, maybe he wants that. I don't know what your husband wants, but everybody loves a quick little, hey, I really like that belt on you. I really like how you do your hair like that. You look really hot. Like, I'm noticing now I do that a lot. I'm like, you look really hot.
I do that too. And also one thing that I do that is so easy for me, but I realize that John really likes it, is like when he gets up in the morning, I know his closet. I'll like sit up and I'll be like, I was thinking you could wear this shirt today with these pants.
Mike would love that. I never done it once.
And so, yeah, I set up yesterday morning. I said, maybe you could wear that new green polo that looks so cute on you. And it would probably look good with blue pants. And he was like, you think that would look good together? And I'm like, yeah. And he said, well, I'm trying to wear button downs to work on Mondays now to be like a little more professional. I'm like, okay. So then this morning he wakes up and he like taps me and he's like, I put on the outfit. That's mental work that I don't mind taking the load on. And I think it made his morning easier to not have to stare at his closet and be like, what do I wear? Because I don't really care, but I also do have to care.
So that's so funny because my husband clearly wants that so badly from me, always tries to talk about what he should wear, and I'll jump in. It's not like I'm like some frigid bitch who's like, don't come to me with wardrobe questions. But, and I get him stuff from, I do a random Abercrombie haul every once in a while.
To be fair, sometimes like men need to dress themselves though. Like I do sometimes I'm like, I can't do this today for you. Like you need to dress yourself. It is mentally, like sometimes. Like I'm standing here naked, so I don't know what I'm wearing.
Exactly. Sometimes I'm like, I can barely control my own outfits, so like do yourself. And he really does, but I think he craves that from me more too. I mean, I know it for a fact that he wants to talk about like what he's gonna wear to things, and I need to just be better about it because like you said, it's a mental thing, but it helps. But then he'll ignore it. Like I'll be like, your cute tan sweater polo, I'm obsessed with it, and then he'll be like, yeah, but it'll be too hot from that.
Sometimes it's not a hit
t-shirt. And I'm like,
but there's like certain everyone's different, so some things are more task driven chores for people than other, like they're a little more taxing. I really think though, like this guy he's just forward thinking. He's like, this is my best friend, and I miss her when she's gone, and when she's here I want to hang out with her, and how can I get us to that end goal?
Well, and I think this is good tip or a good learning lesson for any couple that one person in the relationship has to travel for work. Because like you said, he's doing all this. He knows she's gonna clean if it's dirty when she gets home, so he'd rather have her undivided stress-free time and attention and presence, so he's doing it.
And I need to be better about kids. That too. Well, I will say the other thing is the flip side is if you're traveling a lot for work and then you like, now maybe he has a really taxing job and you guys have kids, and so he's tasked with basically solo parenting a lot. We see that a lot the other way around with like the man traveling a lot for work and the woman being tasked with like solo parenting and household chores. And I think that's a whole different ball game where you're like, okay, you agree that you're going to hire like you, like, even for me, I would say like, okay, I would have a lower mortgage just to make sure that we could hire a babysitter these days of the week. Like in order to help with the kids so that you're not responsible. You don't feel like a solo parent like during those times.
Truly, Mike left last night for the Eagles game for work. Lucky him. Yeah, that's cool. It was truly for work. And I had Louie to myself, and usually Mike does more of like the nighttime walks. I do the mornings.
Right.
But having Louie to myself, and then I had a lot of work stuff to get through yesterday. Having Louie to myself was truly so hard. And Louie's not a kid. I'm that mom who's like in the dog. But like, I didn't get to clean the kitchen. I left the kitchen in shambles this morning when he got home. And I was just like, sorry.
No, I mean, I do it all the time.
Actually.
Okay, so I want, if you were listening with your husband, I would love for you to like get him to stop listening right now. And we're going to do a quick little idea of what you could do for him.
I love this.
Okay.
I have one. Honestly, this is tough. I have more than this, but very basic. We have forgotten the art of writing a sweet letter. Write a cute note and letter and make it long and make it just like very heartfelt. Like, this is just how thankful I am. I just like put your thoughts into words, something that he will hopefully hang on to forever and can like look back on and read, and you can show your kids one day as a model and like, this is what I did for daddy, you know?
That's really cute.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine is, I think that his love language is quality time, which is why he,
do we think it is though, or do we think his is acts of service?
I think hers is acts of service. I think that they seem very healthy, so I feel like they practice where it's like
all of them.
You perform the other person's love language. I think naturally you perform the love language you love, but then as you're in a relationship and partnership, they say your love languages switch because you adapt to what the other person enjoys as their love language, and so you start to perform that task instead.
That's what I think is
happening. Like, I think his probably was acts of service,
Right.
But now it's quality time. Like, I think he performs acts of service for her benefit.
Yeah.
And then his benefit is he gets quality time.
Okay.
So under that presumption, because like I could be wrong.
No, but
I feel like
everybody loves quality time.
Everyone loves it. I think you could surprise him with something that's like friend centered. So I know you guys like to travel. Like, you could do like one big shebang. This would be like the more expensive option, is to plan something where you guys go on one of your trips. So you still travel on. I know you work for Delta, so you can get like the standby tickets. I feel like, I don't know if you can get it for other people, but if you could orchestrate kind of a short little trip where his friends magically show up and they also go, and it's like this wonderful quality time, 3 days, like uninterrupted surprise trip with his friends. That would be so cool. And then if that is out of the question, doing like a surprise friend weekend in the fall where his friends come up to you guys, and you, like, he is used to doing a lot of the planning. So like, you make the dinner reservations.
Don't make him
you book like the game day reservations at like whatever bar. You make an itinerary. You schedule all their flights, and you surprise him. He doesn't really want you to help him in the house because he'd rather you spend the time that you're home with him. So do something where your time that you have to contribute to this idea is like away. So like, even writing the letter, you can do that when you're gone, and like, you can plan this when you're gone, and then what he gets is like quality time with his friends.
And that would be a really good show of appreciation, because that coordination with the friends, the planning of the activities, that all will take time. We've also lost the art of buying a good gift that he wouldn't get for himself. Like,
it just depends on their...
Yeah, some men like hate gifts.
Yeah, like John, it will take a gift, but I'm not sure.
No, Mike like gets mad at me.
Yeah, like
he's
adjusted to the idea of presents over time, but I've noticed that he would like prefer experiences and activities, even though like he wouldn't say, "Oh, I'd rather an experience," but then when push comes to shove, he's far more blown away and excited and elated over the experience than the gift.
Same.
So I feel like that's a lot of men.
Same with, like, Mike, I've gotten a nice watch for, but I've also gotten this, okay, it was on Airbnb Experiences. I don't know if it's still there.
Are you talking about the mob thingy?
Yes. I talked about this before.
He talks about this all the time.
Mike will tell, Mike has like 5 things in his Rolodex that he'll tell anyone who will listen. Louis, this mob thing, and what is the other, I've mentioned, like, truly South Africa, our honeymoon. That's like it. Okay, the Mafia tour, it was a tour throughout Little Italy, and it was this man who was a retired NYPD cop from the Bronx, and he grew up next to Martin Scorsese and Rob De Niro and all these... Robert De Niro?
Yeah.
Why'd I just abbreviate to Rob?
I guess you knew him personally.
Good old Rob De Niro. And he grew up next to all these like men, and he knew the insides and the tea about all the killings and the mafia. And it's like this food tour. They feed you so much along the way. It's like half a day. And I just like got it last minute. I was like, I have nothing for this man for Christmas. And I swear he's been wanting to take his family. He talks about it.
He wanted to take us.
He wants to take you guys.
Yeah.
We actually should. We really should. I have the guy's number.
I know.
Dennis.
You said this.
Yeah, we've had this exact conversation
like 4 times
on the podcast. Yeah. So, anyways, that's just. But then he doesn't care about the fucking watch, you know.
Airbnb Experiences is probably a good idea too.
Yeah.
Do you, Nikki? Would you like to tell us what your rec of the week is, if you have one? Besides sleeveless turtleneck tops.
Sleeveless turtleneck tops. You really.
For the ladies with nice arms.
You really. Yeah, well, and then the Sol de Janeiro glow on the arms. Well, okay, watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, that's been making me really happy. Makeup Forever Wherever Walnut Lip Liner.
Yeah.
It's just a go-to.
Yeah, you like that one.
Have I said this before on this? I don't know. You guys keep me honest. I was just like, what am I using all the time? The Makeup Forever Wherever Walnut Lip Liner. And then this isn't a rec. This is just like me begging you guys. I need a good trench coat for this season.
Oh, you have to thrift it. You have to go to the vintage markets.
Great. I'm just being honest with you. I saw one online that I really love, but it's $700.
That's why. You have to go to the vintage for anybody that needs one, like you have to go to either, I mean, mine's Daily Sleeper and I got it at a sample sale, but it's like, it has like flowers or like lavender sprigs on
I
it.
know exactly what you mean.
But you really have to go to vintage markets. Like then you can find a cool Burberry one or like an olive green one or like the ones that like hit your ankles. They have like the wider shoulders with the correct
I
like
want,
cape
like, an
length
oversized
over it.
vibe.
Yeah.
Cape.
So
I'm specific in my search. I
Yeah.
have a good black one that's like a wool, and I love that.
yeah,
Timeless.
no, but you need a lighter,
I need
like
a
yeah.
tan.
Vintage markets are where I would
Like
hone in for.
we'll talk about that offline.
There was one last. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, anything else?
good to know. That's it.
I'm into crimped hair right now. I got my hair little waver crimper back.
It's like the three things.
Yeah, it's
on
the
it,
three
barrel.
things. Yeah. I also
really
feel
good.
like my hair always has worked with this because it just only holds this curl.
You have to have the right hair for this, and it looks good on you.
But if you have, like, it makes your hair very, like, voluminous in, like, a good way.
I looked like Carrie Bradshaw had gotten electrocuted when I
I think it's cool. You can also do it, like, in chunks, and it looks very sleek, like a sleek wave. Not a curl, like a sleek wave. If you do all of your hair, like, together, like, don't separate and piece it. And then my other rec is a farmer's market soup. Like, this is a good farmer's market season because not, like, you know, some stuff is out of season. That's not what I mean. I just mean the weather is nicer. So you might be able to, like, walk to the market without sweating your balls off. Like, get whatever you see that looks nice and make a soup. Like, this is a really in-between time where it's almost soup season, but it's also almost like the end of farmer's market season. So you can, like, cross them. Like, you get some really fresh stuff going on.
No, also like a stew.
Soup and stew are the same to me. I don't like...
Very different.
Okay.
Very different.
Yeah, I'm not that educated in that situation.
Send in your stew and soup recipes.
Yeah, please do.
Wait, should we do a couple of our questions?
Yes.
So I've been like, obviously Caroline and I yap each other's faces off on the reg. And I was like, I want to do a couple of these fun, like, how well do we know each other questions to see if we actually are listening to each other.
Okay.
We're not going to have enough time for, like, all the juicy ones that we want to get into. So we'll definitely make this, like, a fun little segment or whatever moving forward.
Okay. We should probably attempt to be short-winded for once.
Yeah. But
Okay.
also I kind of want to start with some of the easier ones because it'll be funnier if we
Okay,
don't
pop
know
off.
them. What's my middle name?
Oh my God.
This is why I knew. So she doesn't listen to me.
No, I do.
You should know this.
It doesn't start with an E.
Not saying
Oh my
anything.
God. Freak. What is it?
Why would you say it doesn't start with an E?
Because I just feel like it does. Like, I feel like it does, but then
You know this. It starts with an E. Guess E names.
Elise?
No.
Freaking
You know this. Elizabeth.
Emily? Elizabeth. I was almost there.
Nicole Emily?
I
That
don't.
sounds awful.
Okay, I was getting there.
No,
Nicole
Nicole-
Elizabeth Pellegrino. What is mine?
That's a lot. That's a lot of L's, though.
Yeah.
So it does throw you off. Grace.
Yeah.
I knew that. See, I do listen.
Yeah, we have like the top 2 middle names in the world. Like, those are the most used. Have you
No,
seen like
Grace
the
is
white lady
not.
videos where it's like
Elizabeth is.
So is
Elizabeth,
Grace.
You should have known.
every last person in the South is Grace. Okay.
What's my favorite color? You should know this.
You having a favorite, like, in terms of like, I feel
Favorite
like it's
color?
green, blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's green. But like, you like red stuff a lot.
What's the reds? Oh, this phone case. They
Yeah,
just,
you
like,
do
sent me
grab.
this.
Yeah.
But
okay,
yes, I do like red.
Yeah.
Red is probably like my second favorite color.
Okay.
And was my mom's. Your favorite color? Pink.
Yeah, for sure.
See, I'm so,
Yeah, this sucks. I knew I was gonna lose. I don't know why. Okay,
where
what
did
is-
I grow up?
Annapolis and Florida.
Okay.
Not not
What?
Annapolis. Sorry, Florida and Maryland.
Not Annapolis.
Annapolis is not in Maryland.
Annapolis is in Maryland. I wish I grew up.
Oh, okay.
No.
Half in Maryland,
You
half
know
in Florida.
Where in Maryland?
Nikki, you go to like 6 different cities to visit home. You went back there last month for the first time in like 10 years, though. But it's only like, isn't it like an hour away from Annapolis?
2.
Oh,
and a
it's
half.
2? Oh, that's not an hour. 2.5. Okay.
So Annapolis is like where I go back
Yeah.
because Jenna lives right outside of it in Severna
But
Park.
doesn't your dad still, like,
Where does my dad live? This you should know.
literally a geography
Well,
is
actually,
terrible
no.
for
In
me.
your defense, my dad has moved a ton. So, like, where does Simone live? You know,
Yeah. I just know you literally lived in, you
the
lived in-
listeners
you
know this
moved
more than
to-
you.
you
they
moved to
know
Florida
this.
when you were like 13 or from Florida.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people don't know.
What is the name of the town in Maryland?
Okay. So I grew up in Salisbury, Maryland.
Salisbury, thank you. God,
Out
this is so
Eastern Shore,
embarrassing.
in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a cornfield.
Salisbury is 2.5 hours away from Annapolis.
Yes.
Okay.
On the way to Ocean City, Maryland. Like right outside of Ocean City, Maryland. Like you. So.
But isn't there an
the
Ocean
beach.
City, New Jersey too?
Yes.
And you were
who's
there
from
last
there?
month with Mike's family.
Mike's from there. It's getting confusing, I know. And then my dad lives in Rehoboth. Beach,
Rehoboth.
but did live in Berlin, Maryland, and did before that live in Salisbury. Still technically has a place in Salisbury too. So whenever I go to visit my dad, Rehoboth, which have you ever been?
No.
Oh my God, you would love. It's like Rehoboth, Dewey, Bethany, all those Delaware beaches. Oh my God.
Yes, geography
cutest.
not for me. I don't think they taught it to me.
So the Rehoboth, and then, but Jenna, my sister,
Is in
lives-
Annapolis.
Yes. And you grew up in Charleston.
But I actually
Quit.
Columbia, and then
Oh.
I'm Columbia, South Carolina was where I was born, and then I moved to Charleston when I was in first grade.
Where was I born?
Florida.
No.
Salisbury?
No.
Neither? Virginia?
Yeah, how'd you know that?
Because I listen to you. You just talk about 1,200 cities a day.
Mine is tough. It's tough. You were born in Columbia.
Yeah. Okay. Am
Am I an early bird or a night owl?
You're kind of both, honestly, but I think you would rather be an early bird.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're a night owl.
I'm actually neither.
You're neither. You just like are.
No, I'm
in
like, I don't get
bed.
it. I work my best in the middle of the day like normal people.
Yeah, but if you had to be one,
I like sleep. No, like I would rather wake up at 8 and go to bed at 10 or 11.
yeah.
There is no time for me. What if you feed me espressos, I'm yours whenever. But there's no God-given grace that told me I could just stay up until doing it.
Yeah.
I've pulled some overnighters over the years though.
Ugh.
What is your dream job? I think yours like is to be a movie star.
Why does that sound so funny? No, I mean, yeah, we've talked about this. I would love to like do something someday, but I'm not. There are like legit actors out there who are like working towards it every single day, which I'm not doing. But like as I grow my platform and stuff, I think it becomes more attainable. But I would love that. Yeah. I would love to be.
Yeah.
But I don't need to be a star. Like I would love to be like a supporting role in something. I don't need to be like Margot Robbie and Barbie. Yours is to design a clothing line.
Yeah. My actual dream job is to be a creative director.
Yeah,
Like I've
we did
always
talk
said
about this
that. Yeah.
I saw Amanda Batula is
I
directing
saw that.
something, and I sent it to you, and I was like, you need to do something like this.
That's like really cool for her.
I feel like that's like very attainable.
It's really,
For
really
you.
cool. What is your favorite restaurant? I think yours is that place I think just realistically, it's that place in Hoboken that you and Mike love for dinner, but it's not the antique place. Actually, it is. No, there's a second
No.
one.
Augustino's.
Augustino's.
It's like a hole in the wall. It's as big as this table, and you have to sit at the bar. The
Yeah.
food is so good.
Yeah. They both start with
But
an
like
A.
of all time, this is so basic of an answer, but like I get giddy and have never had a bad experience at Nobu Malibu.
Oh, that's a great answer.
I know. Like I just love the vibes, the ambiance. Like my happiest was the first time I ever went there. And we saw like Chris Harrison and like Alessandra Ambrosio. I just love the celebs of it all. I love the food, the tuna, everything.
That's cool. The most fun my favorite restaurant either had to be like Elefante in LA,
Ooh.
because that's just always a really good time.
Yeah.
Or this is really overrated, but everyone should go once if you're going to Paris. Giraffe, the one overlooking the Eiffel Tower. We did that for our 1-year wedding anniversary. That was.
I want to guess your favorite in the city,
Okay.
but go on.
Okay, yeah, go. It's almost too expensive. So, like, it was annoying. It, like, took away from the vibe how expensive it was. You know, when that happens, you're
Yeah.
like, this is just, like, it can't
You're just, like,
possibly be worth
stressed.
this. Like, yeah. But it's so cool.
Giraffe.
Yeah.
I mean, for the view alone.
I love a good priced restaurant with a great vibe because I don't want to be
Mhm.
stressed about how much money I'm spending there.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
What's your?
What do
Oh, it was Leroy House.
Oh, yeah, it was. And that is closed.
What would be your favorite restaurant?
I don't think I have a new favorite since then.
You like that Italian place that I've never tried, East Sodi.
Yeah, Isodi's so great, but I can't have it anymore.
Right now, do you care? This one's dumb. Do you care more for money or passion? What does that even mean?
In this moment, money, because I need it. I'm just being honest with you. Literally, New York is so expensive right now. I have no money.
Right, like I actually hate that question. I don't know why I picked that out of this.
Like,
pool.
that's just, if anyone says passion, like, I'm so happy that you're in that position, and I really pray to be you one day.
Yeah. What's a country that I would like to visit in the future, like for both of us,
Oh.
that we haven't yet? I guess.
Have you been to Greece yet? Oh, you did. You went with Allie.
Yeah, but
But
didn't
you didn't
count.
It didn't
was
count. You
Crete.
you want to go back.
We were there
right?
for like 2 nights, and it was. I highly recommend don't go when we went, where we went in Crete. We went in like the chilliest time. It was on the way to Israel. It was a whole thing.
I think you want to go back,
Yes.
like just with Mike, for a while.
I want to do like the basic Greece.
Yes. Yeah.
But I also have never been to Paris.
Yeah. Then that too.
So
You really like a
yeah.
vacation, like a beachy
Yeah, I
destination.
love a beachy vibe. I think you. Have you ever been to Italy?
I have been to Rome, but I haven't been well, I'm sorry. I've been to Florence, but
Oh,
yeah, I've
that counts.
in the winter, like for Thanksgiving, to visit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Amalfi Coast.
Yeah. That is mine.
Yeah.
Um.
See you there.
Yeah,
Crushing
that's
it.
really fun. If you could only shop for clothes at one store, what would it be?
Oh.
Yours might be purple.
I hate. No, like I do. I am a Revolve slut.
Yeah.
That's tough though. Like Zara. But no, because I shit on Zara all the time.
I don't know if I have an answer.
Aritzia, no.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah,
have you
we-
ever stayed in a hostel? I don't think you have.
No, literally when we went to Italy, like on accident, it was a whole, with another couple. This is like 4 young professional, but like well-established 30-year-olds essentially. I was 29 at the time, 2 summers ago. No, 2022. Went to Italy with our friends Cam and Diane, and I accidentally booked us a room for 1 or 2 nights, I forget, 2 nights in Ischia at this hotel that I thought was a hotel. I thought it was like I booked it on like Expedia. I thought it was like a conjoined moment where like we each had our rooms like for each couple, and then there was a middle room like apartment style thing. I don't know what. I should have just like booked a normal hotel. And we walk in and there's 4 twin beds like throughout the room, no AC. This is again like well established, like we could afford something better. And they were like, Nikki, what the fuck? And by that time, like we went at the most peak time. There was nothing else available. It was insane. I posted it's in Instagram somewhere in my highlights. Everybody was like, why are you guys staying there? Like I was like already an influencer at this point. Like everyone was like, what the fuck are you doing? It wasn't a real hostel though.
I never have.
Yeah, I didn't do that whole.
But John has, and you know, sometimes I say like John is like bougier than he thinks he is. Like John's like, I will never stay in a hostel again. So I'm pretty safe that I won't have to.
I mean, at this point in our lives,
I don't know if I'd mind, but
who has been a role model to you? It's tough.
I think that you're gonna say your sister.
I thought you were gonna say me. I kind of wish
I
you
thought
did.
about it for 5 seconds.
No, you fucking didn't.
Right, but then I didn't. Then I just like didn't
No.
want to say it.
No, we don't have to do that right now. Yeah, my my sister, I guess. I don't know who else. Like, role model. My dad.
That's a good one.
He really does have like the most insane work ethic and like ultimate provider for everyone. And just
yeah.
like, and the thing about my dad is he is able to have fun in any situation. Like, I remember like last year, we were driving through stressful Manhattan traffic, and he was just like making jokes, and we were having so much fun the whole time. On like a Sunday afternoon, he still had to drive all the way back to Delaware, and like I just remember being like, that perspective.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
we're very
a nice
similar.
one. Mine is like, my mom is a good role model, but career-wise, you wouldn't guess this one, but you could try if you want.
Do I know them?
You do know who they are. It's just an interesting take.
Do I know them personally? Like,
No.
Okay, I just know who they are.
Yeah.
Do they work in? Are they an influencer?
No.
Do they work in fashion?
Yes.
Jenna? No, but I've had.
No. Like, we don't know them. Like, I've never met them.
Oh. No, who?
I think that Vera Wang is a cool role model because she didn't start designing wedding dresses until she was 40 years old.
I love that.
When
Wait,
she
really?
Yeah, when she couldn't find that, she worked in bridal and fashion. She couldn't find the dress that she wanted to wear to her wedding.
She started
And
at
I feel
40?
like that was kind of like me, where I was like, I don't see anything that I want for mine. And then I was like, I always loved bridal.
Yeah.
Whatever. And so then I sort of started getting more into it. She went to design her own wedding dress, and like, she didn't design her first dress until she was 40 years old.
I love hearing about somebody super successful who didn't get started until
Yeah.
they
So
were
to me,
past.
when I think, because I think I might be like a late bloomer with stuff, and that gives me a lot of anxiety. So I
Yeah.
just have to think about how
Late
there's a
bloomer.
time for everybody.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm blanking because there's definitely so many like celebrities and public figures I look up to. Molly Shannon
Who is that?
from SNL.
Oh, that's a great. You would love SNL. Oh.
No, but she
You'd
like
be so
she,
fun on SNL.
I listened to her memoir, and she like went through a ton of adversity and grief, and I've met her, and she was super nice. I met her on a carpet once for a movie, I forget which one, but she's just like really cool and humble in person. She lost her mom and sister in a car accident when she was little. It was super tragic, and she just like is hilarious.
That's
I like
really
her a lot.
cool.
Any like memoir I've listened to. Actually, you know what? That's a good. Send in your celebrity memoirs that we need to be listening to.
Yeah.
I did really like listening to Matthew McConaughey's on Audible.
That's nice.
Yeah.
The other thing I've kind of taken note of is like, I'm not going to compare myself to anybody's career or like look up to anyone's career. That, like, not to be rude, because I know that there are plenty of good reasons to get divorced, but like, that has like been married 8 times or like didn't stay married, because there is
interesting take.
Okay, I don't mean this in a rude way, but like, you know how people say like, some people just put like everything into their work.
Yes.
Okay, so like, I could technically take 100% of my energy and put it into work, and that might be at the expense of not only like my relationship with John, but like potentially a relationship with future kids and my sisters and my
Right.
parents and my friends. And so people always talk about a work-life balance, like in corporate. But then when you are a celebrity or you work for yourself or like whatever, it's more just like you build accolades, and like that's your definition of success. And like, nobody says, oh, like, and you know,
Your
they have all of
family.
they have this like good life outside of work.
Yeah.
And so I don't ever want to be like, oh, like, I should have done everything that this person did when I don't know them. And
look
like,
at their relationship. Or
right.
look
And
at
like, there are
This is
people where
such
it's
an
not.
interesting discussion. We always do this at the very end of the episode and get into like really good.
But you know, some people, like Pierce Brosnan has been married to his wife for like almost 50 years or something like crazy.
Wow.
He's very successful. You don't hear his name in the media every other day, but like, he's to me, that's like well-rounded success. He has a beautiful family. He has
Yeah.
a beautiful relationship. That's probably indicative of other wonderful relationships he has. Also a successful career. Like, to me, that's something to look up to. Like,
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I'm a big proponent of looking to people in your industry who are doing what you're doing, but like 10 years down the, like where you would want to be in 10 years, and trying to like take the same steps as they took or similar ones, just to have something to guide you. But we don't think about the personal life of it all,
because perhaps they had a really nasty divorce, and that's what spearheaded some growth. And like, once Ariana Grande say like, the best years for me in my career are the worst in my personal life, and like that individual probably, I'm you know, like we don't know them, so they might trade all of that back to have not had to suffer through what they suffered through in the midst of it. And they might say like, you don't want this, like I wouldn't wish that personal experience like on anybody. Or like Michelle Obama, I don't mean to sound like anti-feminist, because it's not about you can't do it all, but Michelle Obama was like, you cannot, like you actually can't have it all, like you have to choose what's important to you and give like X% to that. And so like I just don't
not this again, the glass balls analogy.
Oh yeah, because you can only juggle. The thing is too, I don't know who told me this years ago. They were like, do not take advice from anybody whose life you don't want to have.
Well, that's why I've been so picky with a therapist. Because I'm like, I want a therapist that I can almost like see future Nicole in. But that's like not what you're supposed to do.
I mean, I think there are a lot of people to look up to. And again, please like take what I said in the beginning seriously. Like there are a lot of wonderful reasons and very important reasons to like separate and whatever. That's not what I mean. I just mean, if I'm going to like use somebody that I literally have a parasocial relationship to as a role model, then like I don't want to compare what I've been able to do to like someone who, you know, like I just like don't know what their life looks like. In general, like it's nice for me to see someone who's been married for 50 years and very happy. Like that's something very important to me that I want.
Like when I do find a woman that's like a fun, thriving mom in a happy relationship, but also in her career, like that's why I cling.
That's amazing.
On. I'm like,
because I personally am not strong enough to like endure personal life trauma and then like have a successful career. Like I genuinely would like I would rather be like broke and fall off and whatever and like still have my relationships.
Well, first of all, any career goal you ever achieve, you always want more after. You're never just like, I'm good. Like you always keep wanting more and more.
Temporary fulfillment.
And then let's say you get the achievements and the goals in your career and you win the Emmy or whatever. Then like, what's the fun if you have nobody to celebrate it with? Like
and
that's like
everyone rooting for you is then looking at you saying, what's next? And you don't really know them, you know? Like, what are you going home to? Like, it's when I turn off this microphone, when I go home, like when I'm sitting at my apartment and like what's more important to me is like the things that actually make me very happy in life are my relationships with people. And I wouldn't survive without them.
I agree. It's the people who you call when you have something good happen to you or you achieve something. Like that's the people who matter most, and you need to keep them close. But I think you can like work towards your career while also
I agree, but it's like temporary like societal place fulfillment versus like what we're really put on this earth to do, which is like connect to people and like have relationships. So I don't know.
This got deep.
All right, guys,
honey, we're out.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.